Now, 99% of people only focus on one range of strength, and that is just like this. Hey, how's it going? TRX Traveller Adam here. Gonna have a quick little discussion in this vid about why you potentially might not be building muscle with a TRX. I'll chat through potentially why, the science behind it, what we know, and at the end I'll cover how it relates to depending on what level of fitness you're at, whether it's beginner, intermediate or advanced. Now, I'll try and make this quick as well, because being a northerner I tend to rabbit on quite a lot, so I'm gonna try and make this simple and concise. A muscle has three ranges of strength. The first range is concentric. So that is, in simple terms, when we contract like that. So it's contraction. The second strength is what we call isometric. And isometric is when you hold it, so it's holding it. So it's keeping my weight there, and I'm holding, and I'm holding, and I'm holding. And the third strength that the muscle has is eccentric. So eccentric is the downward phase. So when you're lowering, you're lowering, you're lowering. Opposite to the concentric, which is that phase. Now, to exhaust a muscle completely, to cause full catabolic breakdown of the muscle fibers, to encourage or force the muscle to rebuild bigger, better, you need to break a muscle down across its three ranges of strength. Now, 99% of people only focus on one range of strength, and that is just like this, just pumping. You know, you've seen it all before, and I'm sure you've done it yourself. You're just pumping, you're pumping, you're pumping, you hit your numbers, alright, I'm done, I'm done. If we're looking at a muscle, and that's only one range of strength that you've depleted in that muscle, that's, let's say, 33% of the muscle is depleted. It's strength, it's fibers that haven't fired off. Now, if you then go to what we know from science and tests, that even the best bodybuilders in the world can only contract their muscle 50%. Amateurs, or just general fitness enthusiasts, it's ranging between 20 to 30%. Yes, you do get some freaks who, I imagine nowadays, exponentially more, maybe pushing up to 60%. But if you look at that even the pros are only hitting about 50%, let's say, of a proper muscular contraction. So that means getting as many fibers to fire and fatigue as possible as they're exercising. Now, if we are only achieving 33% breakdown of the muscle, because we're only focused on a concentric phase, just curling, combined with the fact that we're only maybe 30% good at being able to mindfully recruit and contract violently the muscle to cause the fibers to break down, that's 20 to 30% of 33%. So that's like, it's gone from what would be the full muscle to just the concentric phases here, 33%, to then here. So that potentially is a reason why you might not be building muscle with a TRX, because you're not, first of all, maybe you're still developing what it feels like to properly contract the muscle. That's fair enough. You know, I think even the pros are still learning that, and everyone is still. I don't think there's anyone who can say I'm an expert at contracting a muscle to 100%. But what we should focus on is breaking the muscle down across all three of its strength ranges. Now, how do you do that? Well, say you were doing TRX curls, you would hit your recommended rep number, but you would, and now this is where it's a balance between different levels of fitness depending on what you're at. Obviously you need some numbers to follow, however they should just be a guide. If you can do more, if you've got one or two more in the tank, you should go for that, and you should really get it out. The numbers shouldn't be there to hit, you know, absolutely. They're kind of a guide and estimate, because we all differ in programs. So what you would do if you're doing TRX curls, you would curl, and then you start to fail. So what you would then do is you could do partials little pumps, and then as the partials fail, you would then just hold yourself, so you'd be holding and you'd be shaking probably, and then eventually you would slowly be lowering yourself, lowering yourself, lowering yourself, lowering yourself, lowering yourself, and lowering yourself. Now if you do that, you take the first phase, the concentric phase, the curling, to absolute failure by just doing partials. You then take the isometric, the holding, to failure, the second phase, and you then take the third phase, the eccentric, right to failure. You can then be pretty much guaranteed you're trying your absolute best to deplete and fire all the muscle fibers within that one muscle. Now, this is where it depends on your level. If you are a beginner, your muscles aren't used to intensity. So just simply curling, not even to exhaustion, maybe just to 8 reps until you're like, I'm done, would be enough to elicit growth because the muscle hasn't adapted. The more you train, the more the muscle can adapt to intensity. The more the muscle adapts to that intensity, the less it advances. Now, if you were a beginner and you did just what I explained, and you took everything to failure, the curl to failure, the isometric hold to failure, and the eccentric to failure, over 3 sets of just biceps, and you were a beginner, you would severely break down the muscle, so much so that it would take, for a general fitness enthusiast who's mediocre trained, does it quite regularly. If you break the muscle down properly, it can actually take between 4 to 7 days if you break it down properly, and I'm talking like what I just showed you. For a beginner, that could stretch to 7 days, 7 from 14 to 14 days to fully rebuild the muscle before it stops aching, and even after the ache, it's still going to be rebuilding. If you then, as a beginner, jump back into it when it hasn't fully rebuilt, you can actually regress, or you can plateau and stop the muscle from rebuilding because it's broken, it's broken, it's healing. You then break it again, it's healing, it's break it again. You're never fully allowing it to heal, to bind, to grow, to then break, to heal, to bind, to grow. So you've got to be careful, you've got to err on the side of caution, and there's then, on top of that, many different ways to implement intensity. So for example, every set you do, you could just quite simply do 3 sets, but make sure you take every single set to absolute depletion across the 3 ranges, curling, isometric, or eccentric. Or you could add on drop sets, which would help you. So a drop set, you basically, you'd be hanging like this, take it to exhaustion, you'd step back a bit, take it to exhaustion, step back a bit, take it. So you'd reduce the intensity, but try and keep going until the muscle's completely depleted. That's another way to sort of help stress it. But because you're not actively focusing on the 3 different ranges of thought, there's a question as to whether it is one better than the other. And it's a complex world when it starts to get into intensities. Now back to my point about being a beginner. If you then said to a beginner, okay, I wanted you to take it to absolute failure and depletion across your 3 strength ranges, and it took them between 7 or more days to heal, so they could only train that muscle every 7 to 14 days because it was taking so long to heal. Number 1, that can be off-putting psychologically. Number 2, it's difficult to get in a routine when it's that spaced out. So that's the reason why, depending on your level, it's not necessarily needed to deplete the muscle in that way across the 3 ranges of strength. If you're at a medium level and you're plateauing a little bit, you could then start depleting the muscle just on the very last set. So you do 2 normal sets where you hit the ranges and you let it go. And then on your 3rd final set, you could be then going, right, now I'm going to deplete it across every single strength range. So you fail, and then you hold, and then you lower once that fails, and lower. So you could just do it on the final set. If you feel you're quite advanced, you could do it on every set. Now, I like to do this type of training. I am not saying that I'm the most advanced. I'm not saying I'm the best at building muscle. That's not my intention with a TRX. My intention is the freedom and ability it gives you to have fitness anywhere. And for me, it's a way to keep in shape wherever I am in the world. And it's a way for me to have my own meditative time. Training with the TRX for me is very internal. I internalize everything. I focus and I feel the muscle. I mindfully contract, and what interests me is body sculpting with it. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to be the strongest person in the world or have the best body in the world. I'm trying to just feel good in myself and have a body that I love and I'm happy with. But on the TRX in front, I would say I'm quite advanced with it because I've been doing it for 6 to 7 years now, just exercising with the TRX. So for me to elicit growth, I feel I have to take every set to failure across the 3 strength ranges. So that is potentially why you might not be building muscle or growing with the TRX, because you might only be depleting 1 strength range, and even within that 1 depletion you might only be 20 or 30% good at it. So you're at a tiny end of the spectrum, and it really just shows you, even if the pros can only contract it a muscle 50% worth of the fibers, it really just shows you how much further we've got to go just as like a species to be able to mindfully do that and feel the muscle contract. So what I'd advise you to do is to really think about that in your training. Think about the 3 different ranges of strength. Now, I explain this information. I'm not saying that you could go so much deeper into what I've just said. I'm trying to just give a basic breakdown of it. I'm not saying that I fully know how deep you can go. I don't. It's just what I study, what I practice, what I read, and what I learn from mentors as well. So yeah, bear that in mind when you are training with a TRX. If you have stumbled upon this video and you're lifting weights in the gym, same principle applies, Give it a go and be mindful of that. Try it out and see the difference. Even just try doing 1 or 2 sets, making sure you hit the 3 ranges to absolute depletion, and feel it over the next few days. When I say do, well, for example, I just did a shoulder workout, which I'm going to post the video, and I took pretty much all the sets to that depletion, what I've just told you, across the 3 ranges, and it was 3 days ago now, and my shoulders are still on fire, they're still aching. I'm not doing a single upper body workout because it all involves your shoulder girdle, and I don't want to overtrain. You've got to allow the body to rest and overcompensate to rebuild. So don't be scared to take rest, and you don't need to eat less. You should eat the same all the time. Just maybe swap out some of the simple digestive carbs for fats on your rest days. I'm waffling, and I said I wouldn't, so I'm going to stop there. I'll do some more sort of videos like this and chats like this, and I'll also put a link to the TRX Fitness Freedom Facebook group below, where I'm starting to have discussions about this, about muscle depletion, about cyclical cycling, insulin sensitivity, mindful training. So if you're interested, you want to join the debate or read more, please feel free to join it. And hopefully maybe in January we'll do a 8-week lean cut together, hopefully when lockdown and things like that have sort of eased a bit. I don't think now's a good time because food is it's a pleasure, especially if you're having to be stuck in the house and you can't go out. The one good thing I think you should do is eat within reason, healthy, but you should enjoy cooking, it's very meditative and peaceful. So yes, I'm again waffling. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'm kind of posting this just to cause a debate, really. I'm not saying it's 100% right or wrong. I'm putting it to you as a challenge. So try it. Let me know, or let me know your views in the comments, and I will get back to them all. And thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you enjoy my other videos, please subscribe or give it a like or a thumbs up. because obviously it just helps me reach more people, and hopefully by reaching more people I can help more people. Thanks very much for watching.